Hey there, everybody. Welcome into the ESPN FC studios. Steve, Frank, Nedum, and Seb with you as I desperately shuffle my papers to find the question.
I can't believe you stitched me up during the show.
I stitched you up.
Aye.
How have I done that?
Well, you should have told me Ali Krieger was coming on.
When you had, you know what? She didn't have an IFB in, so she couldn't hear you, you talking trash about her shot.
Well, because if I'd known, I would have thrown in a bobble or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was surprised they put it in because, you know, production, they have access to the rundown, so they would have clearly seen that Ali was coming in.
Let's put this in the
but you know,
it over the bar.
But you know how it is on this show. If you can't take a ribbon here on this show, you know, you're not going to last long. So Ali's definitely a good sport. She's good for it, but I'm glad she did not have an IFB.
No choice.
Andrea with the first question. For Stevie, start, bench, or drop these rivals in terms of your hate for them. Manchester United.
Hold on a minute, in terms of your hate.
Manchester United.
By the way,
please.
Have you not? Did you see what he did there? Have you seen? Can you?
Yes, I have.
Before you see the question, it says dislike.
I'm jazzing it up a little here. Work with me. Come on, we're working here.
I've just said you stitched me up earlier, and you've tried to do it again.
Yeah. What did I stitch you up on?
Ali Krieger.
Nah, that wasn't so bad.
Well,
all right, so Manchester United, Celtic, or DC United? This seems like the most obvious.
Exactly how it's written.
Yeah.
Man U, Celtic, and then DC.
Okay.
And why would I dislike DC United? Well, you love playing at DC.
Oh, really?
It used to be great. The old stadium, the pitch was well, it used to be fantastic.
RFK, you know what? That's
always a great atmosphere.
Stadium was a dump, but the field was always pristine. Yeah, great atmosphere.
It was always great. So I think you should take DC out of there.
Who was your biggest rival when you were in New England? Did you feel it was DC, or did you feel it was somebody else?
Probably New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for proximity? Because they weren't particularly good. I guess they were all right for a time while you were there. They were okay.
New York, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Jogo Taka asks, Messi said he has a group chat with Luis Suarez and Neymar, and the three of them talk often. Frank, Stevie, Nedum, what former teammates do you regularly keep in touch with on group chats? Or is there an ESPN FC group chat that's more active, and why is Seb not on it? Yeah, that sounds about right. If there was an ESPN FC group chat, I would definitely not be invited. You don't know what WhatsApp is, so I'm not going to ask you about any group chats, Stevie. Frank, how about you? Any group chats with your the 98 boys? Surely you guys keep in touch.
Exactly. We created that 2 years ago, and it's mostly when there is something happening to one of us, or to organize a dinner, or maybe a criticism coming from somebody else to one of the group, and how we handle it, and if we give an answer. So yeah, it's a very friendly one. I was with Robert Pires 2 days ago in Paris, and we talked, and tomorrow I'm going to see Robert and Emmanuel Petit and Aimé Jacquet, because we have a game for the 18th anniversary of the D-Day in Normandy. It's why I'm in Normandy today. So yeah, we talk to each other the most we can to know exactly what we have to do. On Sunday there is a 5 tournament at Zinedine Zidane's location close to Marseille. So yeah, we keep in touch, and we try to talk to each other the most we can.
I've got some news that may not shock you.
Okay.
We still use the telephone.
You and the Liverpool boys.
Yes, we do.
What do you got, the dial, the rotary phone? You all got the rotary phones in your house?
There's a thing called the telephone. Nobody ever heard of it anymore.
Yeah. You call them? Do you talk to the guys a lot?
Oh, the telephone.
Who do you still keep in touch with?
There's always stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Like Frank said, there's always things going on.
What, you just call and talk for an hour or something?
No, not an hour, but you call.
Just chat them up?
Well, I'll tell you what happens. It's one of those things, right? And I do have a WhatsApp, by the way. But it's like you text, and then you're halfway through the line and you go,
why don't I just call?
What am I doing with this nonsense? I'll just call them.
Yeah. Yep. Nedum, what about you?
Yeah, but the problem is, Stevie, when you are 10 in the discussion, you cannot talk to the 10 people at the same time. It's why you have a group chat.
Yeah.
Nedum?
Get the speakerphone going.
Yeah, it's not quite Suarez and Neymar, but I prefer to speak to people individually, because sometimes in a group chat, some of the personalities don't really mix in the same way. But I speak regularly with
And it doesn't go through at the same speed. Nedum, it doesn't go at the same speed either. So you get an answer. You get an answer. 4 down. You're like, hold on, I've got to try and piece that bit to that bit, and that bit.
Very complicated.
No, you can You can click. Yeah, Stevie, I tell you the story. You can click on the chat that you want. The guy you want to chat to, you can click on it and give an answer to it.
No. I gotta. We are not doing Stevie's IT on Extra Time. I'm drawing the line there. Next question.
Even my wife comes out with this stuff every now and again. She'll do the same.
Yeah.
Like when we got a new fridge freezer there, right? She's got to put an app on it. So when it doesn't shut, the app goes off on her phone and that. And she's going, well, why don't I put it on yours? And I'm like,
nah, come on. Can you Stevie with a refrigerator app? Get out of here. Look at that. All right, Nedum, when will you be joining Vincent Kompany's coaching staff at Bayern? Oh, speaking of the group chat.
Yeah.
Listen, no.
You don't have any interest.
Not.
You don't have any coaching interest, do you, Nedum?
Good move, Nedum.
No. The amount of stress that I've seen managers and coaches be under and the hours that they work for like such little job security, I'd sooner sit in my basement right now with this background and talk to you guys every day forever. So I'm going to stick to this instead. Thank you.
Stevie,
Smart move, Nedum.
do you have a Mount Rushmore of the 4 best players you have ever coached? You coached some in England, didn't you? Didn't you do a player-manager stint in England?
Yeah, but
would it all be Revs?
It was lower league, so it wasn't top division.
Right, but no guys were there that would. You know what a Mount Rushmore is? Like your top 4.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
In the UK, we do get world history. We don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We get world history. We don't just stick to our.
Well, most of your references
it's kind of
a 10-mile radius of where we live.
Stevie, I'm with you. It's kind of an insult what he just did. Yeah.
No, I just think Mount Rushmore is a very classically like American reference. It would be. I think it would be
if you have a
arrogant for
little
me
bit
to
of
assume that he did
education
know it.
if you open a book about the world culture, you will find them on Rushmore, and that's quite easy.
If you open a book about world culture, how many times do you think Steve Nicol has done that in his life?
Oh, yeah. Do you know that? There's a big thing. There's a big thing in Paris. Like, there's a big thing in Paris. The Eiffel Tower. Have you heard of it?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No. I didn't have the same world culture book that you opened.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Mount Rushmore of your players, your top 4, your Revs. Shawry's up there probably, right?
Oh, Charlie. Raleigh,
yep.
Taylor.
Okay, there's 3.
Probably more than.
And a goalie, you need a goalie?
Probably more than 4, Reese. There'll be more than 4. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Raleigh, Charlie, Taylor.
Yeah, he's got it. You got 4.
Nunes. I mean,
you got to cut it at 4. There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid 4.
Clint.
Yeah. Well, how many years were you with Clint? 2, 3?
3 years.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, he's got to be on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's more than 4.
All right.
Mount Rushmore. What's that again?
Well, you clearly don't know what it is because you're trying to put 5 people on it. There's only 4 presidents' heads on the damn thing, so I don't. All right, Nedum. Some time ago, there was a debate whether 11 Sebs at his prime could beat 11 Stevies at 50 years old. As someone who has played with Seb in Qatar, who would win this duel of titans?
I think if it was
you would have an enemy.
11 Stevies at 40, I would say Stevie, but because it's Stevie at 50, I'm going to have to go for the... I'd have to say the 11 Sebs, to be honest. I'm going to have to say it. I think the 11 Sebs, yeah.
No, I need them.
And we're talking about in prime. We're talking about prime. I'm 40 today, okay?
The next
prime Seb would have destroyed you.
No, actually, Nedum, at 50, I could still actually run. Not particularly fast. I could still actually run. And that's the key. Because as long as I can run, he ain't getting past.
Hold on, Nedum. You've witnessed, your boy can move a little bit too. Your boy can move a little bit too.
Yeah, Seb, because we're talking about prime Seb though. We're talking about Prime Seb, which you haven't seen yet, Stevie. That's the difference.
Yeah, where's
Prime Seb is 11 of them. Woo! Woo!
Look out! Can you imagine? Look out.
Yeah.
We were talking, Prime Seb was in college. We were talking about our college days yesterday on Extra Time. Mitch asks our next question. Who were your best friends at the club during your playing years? Are you still close with a number of teammates? Stevie, your best friends? We've already talked about being close with people, but just who were your best mates back in the day?
I mean, obviously when I went there, there was a lot of Scots there.
At Liverpool?
You know, soon I was only there about 18 months, 2 years soonest left. But I mean, I played and was coached by Alan Hansen and Kenny Darley for 25 years. Brucey Grobler, him and I used to stay around the corner from each other. We used to go on holiday. Used to share a room. Yeah, I'd probably say, probably Brucey, Kenny, Big Al would be the closest. But I had a few.
You were a pretty popular figure in the dressing room, I bet. Frank, what about you? Who are your best friends during your playing days of the guys you played with?
In clubs, nobody. I would say I had many friends, but like Roberto Di Matteo, Gianfranco Zola, Gianluca Vialli. I've talked to Ruud Gullit some days ago. But my best friend was more with the national team, with Vicente Lizarazu, and we worked together after for TF1, the first channel in France. And I also worked with Emmanuel Petit for RMC, a radio network, and we are very close to each other, and I'm very happy to see him tomorrow. But in terms of club, I had some friends, and we lost contact, and when we see each other, we're very pleased to see each other, but life goes on, and sometimes it's harsh and it's hard, but it's what happens. I love talking. I talked to Gianfranco Zola a month ago, and it was like we left each other yesterday, but it is what it is. It's life, and sometimes we forget to call each other because we're not like Stevie. We don't have phones every time, and but it's we should have had more time. We should have talked for 1 hour to our former teammate.
Well, you always know who your friends are, because when you don't see them, when you go straight back into where you were.
Totally, it's like you never left.
You always know.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing like old friendships, or friendships with a lot of time under them.
No, almost. It's like you're going back in time. Well, actually, I played in a game. It would be probably around 2006.
Okay. So 50-year-old Steve Nicol?
2006.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was.
Anyway, that's not the point.
Even younger.
The game was at Anfield, and it was a rerun of the '86 Cup final, Everton Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
And the dressing room was exactly the same as it was back in '86.
Really?
It was the exact same hierarchy. The exact same people were chirping in.
Same jokes.
It was the same. All the old jokes were getting brought up.
Yeah.
It was almost like going back in time, and that was the interesting thing I found. The hierarchy was still the same.
Yeah. And even if the people have changed, they go back to being the people that they were in that moment, right?
Every single one of us had changed, pretty much.
But you became the Steve Nicol of 1984.
As soon as you walked through that door,
it
was like somebody go back in time.
Nate, speaking of going back in time, Nedum, your under-21 final against Germany featured Neuer, Boateng, Hummels, Khedira, Ozil, all of whom started in the 2014 World Cup final. Looking back, who among them surprised you the most in terms of how much they progressed from the under-21?
You know, in that tournament, we actually played against them twice because we were in the same group as us. And it was the third group game, and we actually made, I think, 7 or 8 changes for that third group game because we'd already qualified. So Germany actually needed to win. So against our quote-unquote second string for that day, Germany ended up just about drawing. I think it was 1-1. So they weren't that impressive to start with, and I think their names, I think their legend kind of grew as time went past. I think those guys that were mentioned, like Ozil and Khedira, like they were good in the final. But to be honest, I think for my age group, what was even more interesting was that tournament also featured Spain. And Spain were really good, but there were players who weren't there. And some of those players were the likes of a Gerard Piqué, a Sergio Ramos, a Sergio Busquets. So I think generationally around that sort of time, there were some players who either skipped the under-21s or played in that tournament that ended up being quite significant in the history of world football. But again, I think of the players that you mentioned there, seeing the likes of Neuer still playing now, seeing Hummel still playing now. There were a good bunch of players, let's say that. It probably contributed to why we lost 4-0 in the final. But, this is football.
I found out about 4 or 5 weeks ago that I'd actually played against Baresi and Totti. I had no idea.
Did you forget the game?
No. It was in Italy. It was an under-21 game. Two of them were playing.
And you just didn't know who they were yet?
Well, I don't even remember them then.
Right. Really?
Yeah. We beat them 1-0, so that helped.
There you go.
But I didn't find out till about 4 weeks ago.
They probably went into the dressing room talking about a young Steve Nicol.
Well, I don't suppose there's too many gingers in it. Let's be honest.
You know what, Stevie? I saw a picture of me being sent off against Mexico in Parc des Princes with the national team. I didn't remember that I played against Mexico.
Wow.
I never had a clue that I played against Mexico. That's unbelievable.
Mexico was
and
that
I don't know why,
memorable.
because I love the shirt. Yeah, no, but I love the shirt. I love the badge and everything.
Yep.
I would have kept the shirt. I don't remember. When I saw the picture with me being sent off, I say, I played against Mexico? When was that? It was a long time ago because it was before the Stade de France was built. It was 90, I would say 95, 96. I don't remember one action, something about that game. Nothing.
Wow. Frank, red-carded against Mexico. Taking shots here at El Tri. Kick a team while they're down, why don't you? All right, last question here. Pep visited the Celtics during the NBA Finals, and it appears he was offering some coaching tips to the Celtics head coach at a practice. Stevie, have you ever received coaching advice from coaches in different sports?
No.
Have you ever sought coaching advice?
I wouldn't dream of going up to any coach in another sport and trying to tell them what to do.
Curling? No? The coach of curling didn't help you out?
What about the
I wouldn't even dream of doing that.
the people who don't know, the New England Revolution, who you coached, were also owned by the same guy that owns the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Did you have anything with any of the Patriots coaches during your time there? Never crossed paths, never shared best practices.
Well, let me put it
Was
this way.
Belichick there? Nah.
If one of them come up to me.
Was it? Yeah, he was there.
Without,
Oh yeah.
Right, so it's important that we know the actual scenario here. Did one of the coaches go and ask Pep, or did Pep go and volunteer it? Because there's a difference.
What do you think? Knowing Pep, what do you think?
Well, I would certainly hope that he was asked by one of the coaches.
It seems like there is a relationship there between him and the Celtics coach, and because he's been, I think, at a few games now.
Right.
But it was a classic Pep moment caught on camera where he's doing the this thing, except it's on a basketball court, and you're like, what could he possibly be telling the guy from the Celtics as head
Yeah, I have no problem with that. But if you go out and volunteer it, if somebody did that to me.
Right. If a lacrosse coach walked up to you and said, hey, buddy, you might want to start playing with 3 up top.
Right, so you know what I would say?
What would you say?
Well, I can't say it.
Right, okay, well, don't say it then. All right. Any final thoughts, Nedum, there on Pep Guardiola? Do you think he might leave City to become an NBA coach?
Yeah, that's it. Especially if the Celtics win, there's the new assistant coach for the world champions, as you guys like to call it over there.
There you go. Apparently, he was a guest to the Celtics, so.
Our world champion bounce to the Celtics.
Look at you.
It cracks me up.
You're a big basketball fan? You might be
No.
at the Celtics, no?
No.
But you're big NFL.
NFL, yeah.
Love the Patriots.
Yeah, I love the Patriots.
There you go.
Aye.
All right, well, enough talk about the sports that don't matter. That'll do it for this edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. Thanks to Frank. Thanks to Nedum. Thanks as well to you, Stephen. It's always a pleasure. Thanks to you folks for